those are excruciating. And every single second that you're in there, your whole body is just yelling at you. In this video, I want to describe, in my opinion, the difference between doing a very cold ice bath and a not so cold ice bath, and a little bit of the in between as well. And so when I say very cold ice bath, I mean very cold. Pretty much, I do not think that you can get the ice bath any colder than I've had the ice bath, and that is at 34 degrees, or 33 degrees actually. And the reason is because at 32 degrees, it's frozen, like it's ice. So I don't think it can get any colder than that unless you have some other kind of liquid in there, or maybe salt or something like that. I don't know, but I've been in 33, 34, 36, 39, 40, 50, all the way up to like 65 degrees. And so I kind of want to describe the difference and where I see the benefits in them, right? And so obviously, if you're doing the ice bath for recovery, you're gonna want the ice bath to be pretty cold, okay? I don't know exactly how long you need to be in the water for if you're doing like a one for specific like muscle recovery, but you're definitely gonna want the water to be really cold. If the water is only in the high 50s or the 60s, it's probably not gonna work as well. You want the ice to be in there, so you're gonna want like one that's in the 30s or low 40s or something like that. But mostly what I want to talk about is the effects mentally, and they are completely different in my opinion. So when I get in ice baths that are down in like the 30s, those are excruciating. And every single second that you're in there, your whole body is just yelling at you to get out of the water and get out of the water, get out of the water. Like that's all you can think about, is that you're suffering so much. But in the temperatures that are a little bit higher, you can sit in there longer and you can tolerate it more, but you're still using a whole lot of discipline to stay in there, because at least for me, like I said, I don't like the cold. I still don't necessarily enjoy the cold. I take pride in the cold, but I don't enjoy the cold. And so for me, I can get in a 60-degree bath and be in there for 40 seconds, 30, 20 seconds, and still be like, I don't really want to be in here. Like I want to get out. I'm uncomfortable. And you're still working that muscle, And so I think a lot of people will get caught up on the temperature of what the water is rather than just getting in and doing something that makes you uncomfortable. So if you're doing it for mental reasons, you don't need the water to be 33 degrees, 34, 35, 36, 40, 45 even. If you got a cold body of water, like a swimming pool or a lake nearby, and that water is in the high 50s or low 60s, it's still uncomfortable to you. The water itself is colder than your body temperature is, and so your body's not gonna necessarily enjoy being in there very much. So when you're in there, especially in there for a while, your instincts are gonna tell you to get out, and that is the power, in my opinion, and my favorite part about the ice bath, is that you are building the muscle of choosing to do something that you don't want to do. And like I said, in my opinion, that's the whole point of the ice bath. I love the the recovery benefits and stuff like that, and the lack of inflammation, or the reduction of inflammation. But for me, I do it mostly for the discipline of it. Now I told you guys that right now my ice bath water is not super cold. It's like in the mid to high 50s, and I still don't want to get in there every morning. Whereas when I started this challenge, it was in like the mid to high 40s, which is like a pretty significant difference. You can tell quite a bit when you get in there. But I still don't want to get in every single morning, and it still builds that muscle for me of looking at the water, putting my feet in the water, and then my body goes, don't sit down, and I sit down, and then my body goes, get out, and I don't get out, and I just sit in there. Usually I'll put a couple songs on, and I'll let a couple songs go, so it's anywhere from 3-4 minutes up to maybe 6 minutes. Sometimes I'll just sit in there for 10 minutes when I'm just like, hey, you know what, you really need to have some discipline today, I'll do it. But I think people get way too caught up in the temperature of the water. Instead, just get in some water that you don't want to be in and suffer. You know, if you want to, for fun or for the experience of it, do a really, really cold one, which I do recommend because they're crazy, man. You know, like I've done, get yourself a body of water that you could fill with ice, like a bathtub, or I've seen people use like garbage pails or garbage cans. Obviously the water trough thing, or you know, whatever the heck you could find that you could put ice in. You know, give it a shot. Do one that's really cold, and get a thermometer so you could actually check it. Because if you just put water in there and then you dump ice in there and then you jump in there like right after you put the ice in, it's not going to be that cold. You got to put the ice in there, put the water in there, let it sit for a while, let the ice all melt. Once the ice all melts and it's not melting anymore, you know it's really cold. And do some of those, you know, and then and experiment with it on your own. But like I said, for people who are trying to do daily ice baths, I don't really think it's that necessary to you know, to do the really, really, really cold ones. Like I said, mine right now is in the high 50s, and I'm gonna be getting a deep freeze this weekend if I can get out there and get it, bring it back to my place and set it up for an ice bath. And I'm gonna be able to control the temperature on it better. At least after I get it set up properly, I will. But I'm gonna try to keep that thing pretty cold, honestly. For me, I'm probably gonna do, I don't know, I mean, we'll see. Probably somewhere between like 40 and 45 degrees, which is like on the really cold side of what I was doing for a daily one. And then I'll be in there for a couple minutes. Also, one of the issues with the really, really, really cold baths for a daily ice bath is that you're the recovery time from an ice bath that's like, you know, in the low 30s is a long time, man. When I've sat in those ice baths for, you know, 3, 4, 5 minutes, it takes like an hour for you to get back to normal, to the point where you're not shivering, you know? And you think, oh, I dry off and I put clothes on. No, it doesn't help. You could put 5 layers on, your core is still cold. And so you're still shivering while you're in the warmth, you know? And you can go get in the warm shower, but that's not necessarily the best thing to do, because you want your body to warm itself up naturally. And so, like I said, those cold ones, man, even though I love doing them every once in a while, and like I'm gonna continue to do them, it's not something that I want to do on a daily basis, because it just takes so much time, you know? It takes the time you're in there, and then you get out, you have all this recovery time. Like I've literally been driving to the office in the morning, still shivering in my car because I did an ice bath, you know, 30 minutes prior. But yeah, so like I said, guys, don't get too caught up in the temperature of the ice bath as much as just getting in cold water. That even goes for the cold shower. If you don't have access to a cold body of water, but you want to experiment with cold exposure, do the shower. It's definitely not as challenging. You know, here in Arizona, the cold showers are, I don't know what they are. I haven't measured the water. It'd actually be pretty interesting to do that, but I haven't measured the water. My ice bath in the high 50s is significantly more challenging and significantly colder than my shower here. So if you live in a warm state, like I said, it's still gonna be difficult because you don't wanna do it. You know, I've taken cold showers since I've been doing the ice bath, even just to try it out. At the end of my warm shower, turn it over to cold, and it still comes out and it's cold, especially when you were in the warm shower and you don't want to be in there. Like I want to step away from the water, but I don't, you know? But I have also experimented where I was in the ice in the ice bath that was in the mid to high 50s, and then went and got in a cold shower afterwards, and the water felt warm. And so I instantly stepped right back out of it, because I was like, hey, the situation was my ice bath was a little bit dirty, and so I just hopped in the ice bath and went and I hopped in the cold shower to try to rinse myself off. But the water from the cold shower actually felt warm, which was surprising to me, to be honest. I did not think it was going to be like that. But when I've tried to when I have filled up my ice bath with cold water from my bathtub, the water was not even close to being cold when it actually was filled all the way up. So, but again, defeating the whole purpose of what I'm talking about here. Do not worry too much about the temperature on the ice bath or the cold exposure that you're doing. Just expose yourself to a cold temperature that you do not want to be exposed to. Make yourself, you need to have that little, ooh, that little jerk, and then stay in there for however long you tell yourself you're going to, and don't change your mind. So if you say you're gonna do 2 minutes, get in there, do 2 minutes. If you say you're gonna do 5 minutes, get in there and do 5 minutes, and don't change your mind. The pride will be there, the dopamine will be there, and you will feel good after doing that. So, all right, guys. This video, I kind of rambled a little bit, but I think you got the point. If you actually watched the end of this, thank you. I appreciate that. If you guys got any questions about this, or you guys have any comments on what I'm talking about, please leave a comment down below. Otherwise, please like the video and please subscribe so you can see more of this masculine self-improvement. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Take care.